Hi, Sarah Mack here from withsarahmack.com, and today I'm going to have a rant about raising your prices, which is a topic that I'm very passionate about and have been talking about a lot this week with a lot of different people. And my mission and vision is really for every woman, every creative in my community to be making a six-figure income, doing the work that they love in ways that are supportive of their values, of their needs and desires, and having so much fun doing it. And it honestly infuriates me when people undercharge and are underpaid because it just doesn't have to be that way. And at the core of it, at the core of this conversation, it's really about asking for what you want because it's not just about money. It's about asking for what you want, it's about desire, and it's also about shame. Because the shame is the thing that prevents us from acknowledging our desire to the point that we actually make the ask. And I fully believe that there would not be a wage gap. There will not be a wage gap once we address this lack of skill around asking for what we want and having the courage to do that. So, raising your prices and your pricing, I really see as a conversation that brings up all the trigger points around this systemic problem that we have internalized. And um, And yes, it's about communicating your value. Like, yes, it's about being good at sales. Yes, it's about having the right words and targeting the right people. Um, but do you have to be 100% confident and unafraid to ask for what you want? No. And I've been through that journey from charging very, very low prices as a writer to charging, five-figure packages as a coach. And on that journey, I have been through sending out invoices for more money than I've ever sent out invoices for previously. And, had that rush of my nervous system, that resistance, that fear, all of the things kicking in, telling me like it's not safe. It's not safe to ask for what you want. I'm going to be rejected. It's not going to work out. Bad things are going to happen when I ask for what I want. And time again, I have disproven that nervous system response. Every single time I've raised my prices, guess what? It's worked. Guess what? I've had more health, more freedom, more fulfillment, and been able to deliver more value in the process of really and truly following my desires for the pricing structure and the ways that I have desired to work in my business. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to charge loads and loads and loads of money, because asking for what you want also comes from asking quantity, like asking the quantity of people that you desire to work with you, asking the quantity of people by accessing larger audiences and stepping into being more visible and being in front of more people and asking for what it is that you want. So this shows up in so many different ways, and it's not necessarily just about charging higher prices on your work, because there are many different ways that we can get to an increased income. It doesn't always mean just charging higher prices. It can mean serving, considerably more people at lower prices, but that still involves you asking for what you want with a greater impact and through a greater frequency. So, do you have to be 100% confident and unafraid to raise your prices? No, absolutely not. Do you have to be 100% confident and unafraid to ask for the opportunities that you desire? No, you do not. Do you have to be fully free of imposter syndrome? Absolutely not. And, this really comes down to embodying a perspective of abundance. Money is an unlimited resource, and there's more where it came from. So when we create money in our life, there's always going to be more ways to create money. We actually require a consistent flow of money into our business and into our lives in order for us to live. So, and when we take from that supply, it doesn't diminish that supply. So actually, when you look at it from that perspective, asking for and receiving more money does not take away from other people. Even the people who are paying us, they have access to that unlimited resource. And I know legitimately there are many, many reasons why people don't have access to a seemingly unlimited resource of money. And I've been in that place myself. And and I've been in a place where I've had to be extremely resourceful to have my needs met, to solve my problems, to find answers to my solutions. And, yes, I completely acknowledge the privilege that I come from. But, I have also built myself up from a very limited mindset, very ill health, very real scarcity, like no financial support from any other sources, and having to shift that for myself internally and do the work to shift my perspective from one that sees money as a limited resource and that sees scarcity as a daily reality to really plugging into the possibility that money is unlimited and that my power is unlimited and my power to create is unlimited. Because from that perspective, we make very different decisions. We live in so much more abundance and so much more freedom. And from that place, we're actually be able to create more of an impact than if we're restricting ourselves because of a story of scarcity. And from that perspective, there is no need to be under earning. So if we can see under earning as a choice that we're making, because we're refusing to stay focused on the wider perspective of unlimited supply, then it's a choice that we get to make differently. And, that choice and the path out of that is going to look completely different for everybody, but it's led by our desires. And by tuning into what it is that we desire, what feels exciting, what feels like a step in a better direction, and making the ask for that. Like having that vision, setting the goal, keeping the focus, and then asking for that opportunity to be created for ourselves and continuing to ask until it is created. And that's the piece where people get hung up is, making the ask, getting a rejection, and then it triggering all of the insecurities that make it painful and that make it appear more comfortable to stay in a level of scarcity, to stay in a level of under earning, and to not go through that nervous system trigger, or to face the pain of rejection, or to face the pain of failure. When actually, sometimes all we need to do is make one more ask, and then we actually get what we want. So this is something that I've obviously shifted for myself and continue to shift at higher and higher levels, and that I've seen my clients go through the same journey. And it's an asking for what you want problem. It's actually not necessarily a money problem. And really breaking that pattern of overgiving and people pleasing by shifting the dynamic and allowing people the pleasure of giving to us, because that's the dynamic of under earning. When we're not allowing others to give to us, because we're not opening the space for that, because we're not asking for it and we're not open to receiving it. So I always give small exercises to my clients to start to build this muscle in really easy, tangible ways. Like noticing whenever you're making an ask to somebody, like, please can you pass the salt? Please can you pick this up for me? Please can you go and turn that light off for me? Please can you pick up the groceries? And just starting to create opportunities for others to give to us and for us to receive, and to be in the discomfort of that and really notice when it's uncomfortable, and to be in that discomfort to build the muscle. It's like lifting the weight And when a muscle hasn't got any strength, it's painful and it's tight and it's stiff and it doesn't actually feel good. And there can be painful repercussions as we start to recalibrate to building strength around that particular activity. So start practicing and noticing where you are asking for what it is that you want and where you are allowing yourself to receive it, and also where you're allowing yourself to hear a no, right? Nobody's ever obliged to say yes all the time, and we can hear a no and still survive. Because if we hear a no and then we take it personally and we make it mean something about our worth, then that's really, we're squeezing out the insecurities that are keeping us small by starting to put ourselves out there in a bigger way. And, you know, being willing to go through the pain of rejection, which is like, you know, my greatest fear that has kept me small, and most people's greatest fear as a human being who is afraid of being rejected from the tribe. Like on a lizard brain unconscious level, we're working day in, day out to avoid being rejected. But if we want something different, if we want more, if we want to be able to receive what we've never received before, then we have to start undoing that unconscious rewiring, that unconscious wiring. So being willing to be in that uncomfortable space of hearing a no, of getting rejected, which, by the way, when I started raising my prices, never happened, which just goes to show how far I was underpricing myself. And, you know, ever since, it's just gone up and up and up. And I proved that to myself, that when I focus on what's a desire for me and I set the goal and I stay true to the goal and I keep asking and I keep, you know, finding ways to create what it is that I desire, it works every time. And then I'm on to the next level and the next level and the next level. So I know that when I set a goal, that when I focus on the money that I desire to receive for the work that I desire to be doing, it's inevitable, right? It's inevitable. Once I set that goal, once I commit to it, yes, I'm going to go through discomfort. Yes, I'm going to go through growth. Yes, I'm going to put myself out there and make a ton of asks and not necessarily get yeses all the time. But I've shifted my marketing also in a way that I never even get no's, because I've put it out there in a way so that I'm only available for the people who are ready and who are at a yes. And then that's at the point that we start to have a conversation. So under earning actually benefits nobody. It benefits nobody. So many people benefit when we earn what we would desire to earn. When I earn more money, I have more money to support myself through hiring other people. I have more money to support others. I have better health, which is better for everybody in my life. I create jobs through my business. I support so many other women businesses with the money that I earn. It's better. It's better when we have more money. And under earning benefits no one, and under earning is a choice, and under earning isn't necessary. It's not necessary. So the real question is, why are you in resistance to asking for more? And just see what stories start to come up around that conversation, and just pay attention to them. Like, where did they come from? Who gave those stories to you? What are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to impress by holding on to those stories? And they're so entrenched culturally, particularly as women, particularly as creatives. And my invitation to you is really to examine them, like really examine them from this perspective that under earning isn't required, under earning benefits nobody, and that money actually is an unlimited resource. And see what new stories that you can come up with, and really start building the asking for more muscle and practicing it and seeing where it leads you. Yes, it's probably going to lead you through a ton of discomfort, but if it gets you to where you want to go, and it usually gets you to where you want to go surprisingly quickly, it's totally worth it. So this is a conversation that I'm absolutely obsessed with having, because I do really believe it's the answer to so many of our problems. And I love to dive into this one-on-one with my clients around shifting mindset around raising your prices, and whatever stories are lurking around there, whatever truths we're embodying that maybe aren't serving us, and they're definitely not serving the people that we could be helping in our business when we have the capacity and the resources to be doing that work at a higher level. And this would be an excellent conversation for us to dive into if you know that you're ready to be hitting six figures. You want to be doing it in spacious ways without burning out, without hustling, without doing things that you really hate doing or aren't willing to do. And there are a couple opportunities for us to get some one-on-one coaching time together. One is inside my private mentorship. I have a 3-month and an 8-month program where you get, that's like the highest level access to me. We get 3 calls a month. You get daily access to me on private messenger via Voxer, and you get access to all of my courses and programs. I have another opportunity that's available this month, which is a live round of Tell Stories That Sell, which I have added 4 group coaching workshops to. So we're going to get one-on-one time, and some really valuable ways for you to use that one-on-one time would be like shifting your mindset around raising your prices or just your pricing strategy in general. Also getting clear on the launch strategy that feels really fun and easy for you because it's aligned with the things that you like doing and that you're naturally good at and that fit into your energy levels and your schedule. Also, shifting beliefs around your money goal and the money that you specifically want to be bringing in for your life and for your desires, as well as pinpointing the clarity on your dream client and that conversation so you're really deeply connected to the value that you offer and you're good at communicating that when the opportunity arises. And also having clarity on which parts of your story to share that we know are really going to speak to your ideal client and make it very easy to create sales from the right people that are going to be such a pleasure for you to work with because they're the right fit. So these are some of the ways that are the most valuable ways for you to use coaching time with me to get you to six figures in 2022. And Tell Stories That Sell, the early bird pricing actually ends today at midnight EST. After that, the price doubles, and it's going to be a small group. So you're going to get lots of time and attention and one-on-one coaching time in the group coaching calls from me, as well as the 8 weekly modules that set out all the exact steps, tools, skills, and strategies that got me to six figures in my business. And I teach in an intuitive way that guides you to the feel good aligned strategy for you. So it's not cookie cutter, it's customizable, it's tailor created for you based on your intuitive desires, likes and dislikes. And that's how you get to build your dream business that's fun for you, that feels good, and is also easy for you to follow through on and create consistency around. So I would love to hear your takeaways and insights on this conversation. And please share this with anybody you know who will really benefit from this conversation and from this work. And have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you so much love. Bye.